The C-levels make decisions that drive the acquisitions quicker than the IT and obviously the loss prevention groups can actually analyze the stores, the existing technologies in the stores, and make accurate decisions on whether or not the stores that are being acquired have the right technology to support their services and ultimately drive the ROI that's expected out of these stores. When stores are acquiring other stores and trying to determine the best way to really migrate those new stores into their existing formats is understanding the existing technology, the legacy systems that exist. How do we bridge those technologies together and make them work holistically? That is normally the biggest challenge that we see with stores doing acquisitions.
The other thing that's undervalued is the cost of those changes with the current organization, which is how do they train themselves to the new environments? And then how do they adopt the technologies that are useful in those environments? And are they relevant in their current environments? And can they bring them all together through an easy integration? Or does it require a wholesale change where they throw out everything in one of the environments?
They have to understand what actually exists out there. So a lot of times that's how Telaid can come into play is first of all, we understand technology, legacy, new technology, and we can help them understand that legacy technology, doing site surveys, going out and reviewing the technology if it's end of life, if it's going to hinder their ability to drive revenue from those stores that they're acquiring, and then ultimately help them migrate that existing technology in those stores or replace that technology in those stores to help those stores become part of their holistic environment.
They're always looking at the technology they leverage to impact three areas. It's either cost of goods, cost of people, or cost of operating the building. Addresses one or more of those, then they have an easy path to adopt that technology.
Opening day going smoothly really depends on how proactive they were initially. Did they involve all the right people in the decision making, specifically when it comes to technology? I know a lot of times in our world, we see different groups, say security or the IT side. They don't always align, but guess what? The technologies touch one another. And if they're not cohesive and working together, then, there's going to be obviously some issues day one of opening. We see that quite often. I'll say one of the things that Telaid, I believe, does really well, and you've probably heard this, Daniel, is, we have the ability to stage, do the configuration. We actually burn in the technology kit, and then we deploy, and then we almost make it plug and play when it gets to the new store. Not only is it ready for opening day, but a lot of times we've already tested all the technology together to make sure that it works holistically. A lot of time the C-levels make decisions that drive the acquisitions quicker than the IT and obviously the loss prevention groups can actually analyze the stores, the existing technologies in the stores, and make accurate decisions on whether or not the stores that are being acquired have the right technology to support their services and ultimately drive the ROI that's expected out of these stores. So a lot of times patchwork just continues to erode the store performance. In my mind, this is it becomes a timing thing. Do I have enough time to analyze the store and have a partner like Telaid and come back and how Telaid kind of plays into this? And you'll hear me talk about, our consulting role, leveraging someone like Telaid to come in and help you work through the technology in the stores and the stores that you're acquiring, I think is very valuable because we can help you make those decisions when really you don't have enough time to focus on everything that's going on when you're trying to build out new stores and acquisition stores.
That really plays into what you just said, Ross, is going back to the C level. They're making decisions and they're looking at hard costs, but what they're not looking at are the soft costs that go along with many of those
Correct.
decisions. And those are the ones that roll downhill to the IT teams, the operations teams, the loss prevention teams that go unrealized on the balance sheet, but cause a lot of chaos in that integration. You have some challenges that aren't present in a mall-based store or a big box retailer because number one, they usually operate 24/7. Number two, they do a lot of controlled age-restricted product. They also have a lot of impulse buy that takes place as a result of somebody coming from a fuel island into the store and then going back out, trying to do that as quickly as possible. All of those things create a little bit of a different challenge. An integrated security system that combines video surveillance with POS integration and other things that are monitoring door activity allow a picture to be painted for a company that has a light staff where they're saying, hey, I've got 150 stores assigned to this investigator. How do I keep him focused on what's most important day in and day out? And how does the security system technology help them do that so that they're not chasing situations that don't really warrant their time? So it's time to value, number one, it's time to action, number two, and it's acting on the right data at the right time so that they get the best result in combat shrink effectively.
We are working with a lot of our partners around AI technology, and that integration of AI technology is really streamlining the capabilities of the convenience stores and their ability to monitor not only and secure product, high risk theft product, but also monitor sales, monitor stock, inventory control. I think over time, you're going to see convenience stores really excel around the loss prevention and tying, as Mike stated, that piece back into the POS. And you'll be able to see your return on investment a lot quicker with investing into security type technology. We've been through this so many times. Obviously, you've really got three key folks that drive these new stores, and you got obviously the C level, but then you've got the IT side, and then you got the loss prevention side. And the three typically come together, and I'll say maybe 80-90% they're going to agree upon. But really, where it collides is bandwidth, sharing, network capabilities, cost of that network to build out that network, tying that network infrastructure together with loss prevention. And a lot of times it's a balancing act. What's most important here? They don't always realize what is most important because every environment, every location is different. Some of our customers have stores that have very little loss and security is not a focal point. But we have other sites, same customers, that security is number one priority. It's not always making sure that the security aspect and continue to push technology into those stores. A lot of times they're trying to figure out whether or not the store is going to be profitable because of the losses that they're sustaining in the stores. So yeah, initially that collision typically happens on sharing of, I believe, is throughput of the different types of data that's being pushed across those networks.
Scheduling is probably the most critical piece that gets avoided in this conversation when they're planning. And they're saying, look, we're doing acquisition in this market and we've got 27 stores and we're going to open them all on the same day. Sounds great on paper, but in reality, do you have the support both internally and with your partners like Telaid to accomplish 27 sites simultaneously? If the answer is maybe you should avoid that risk and stagger that schedule. And when you stagger those schedules, it allows the most critical resources to be effectively used to help you achieve your mission.